Welcome to Bloody Flicks. I'm your host Pete.
And I'm Kyle, and we talk about all things bloody.
This is video 1 of our video series of SCREAMUARY. Alright, in this video, this is the Scream 5, Scream 2022
movie review.
What do they call it?
Or 5 Cream, or...
Pick one, it doesn't matter.
One.
But this is our new Scream review that came out this year, 2022. And alright, so this video will do the first half will be non-spoiler, the second half will be spoilers. So
after we give our rating, if you haven't seen the movie, turn off the video, go to your local theater and see the movie, and then come back, because we will spoil this movie for you.
Alright, now before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our friend that we work with, Nathan Graves. If you're into Christian rap, he dropped a new album called Testimony, and his handle, he's at Nathan Graves 309. So, you get a chance, check him out, would you? Alright, now to the Scream 5 2022 review. Alright, what you got? Start us off.
Well, we'll give you a brief summary. Of course, this is the 5th movie in the Scream franchise, so you already should know what the premise of the movie is. So let's get into our likes.
Alright, well actually first let's start with the movie. Typical Scream movie, people are going to get stabbed, of course. They do bring back 3 older characters. You should know who they are because if you watch the Scream trilogies, or actually 4Gs, or the series, you should know who they are by now. But we have a new Melissa, what is her name?
Barrera.
And she is the new main character. She is actually a sister, or actually daughter,
of one of the OG killers from the first movie.
And actually she is Billy Loomis's daughter. And Billy Loomis's daughter, so automatically they put the emphasis on her, like they do always a character in each movie, that she is going to be the killer. At least you think. She has a boyfriend, of course, so you think it could be the possible killer. They make everybody, of course, seem the possible killer, which they do in every Scream movie. The cast in this one is pretty good. I think it's the best all-around cast out of all the Scream movies, minus the first one. Actually, I think the cast in this one is better than any of the other Scream movies, in my opinion, as far as the whole-around acting the cast. There's her sister, they're estranged. Melissa's character leaves a long time ago. Of course, she has to come back as the killers after her sister, so she thinks. And then they come back to Woodsboro. So that's kind of a cap where it starts, and then the killing begins. So likes about this movie?
Well, some of my likes is the kills are a lot more brutal than your normal Scream movie. Now there is part of that kills area that's in my dislikes, so I'll talk about more of that when we get to dislikes. It's not the Sidney Prescott show. The OG characters are kind of the side characters, and the new cast is the more main focus, which that I kind of liked, because already after 4 movies, I'm tired of the Sidney show. So that was one of my other likes. And this is kind of spoilerish. I like that finally we did kill one of the OG characters. I just wish that it was a little more impactful, unless you're really in love with this character. So that's all I have for likes. How about you?
I like the fact that this movie was, the cast did better acting overall. In the first movie, I didn't care for Dewey's. I didn't like the way Dewey portrayed himself. I hated Dewey. I didn't like Skeet's character. Billy Loomis, I didn't like the acting that he did. Not him, but the acting that portrayed. They did it on purpose. They wanted to focus on him as a killer, so you would not assume there's another killer. I get why they did it. I just didn't like those 2 characters. I thought that Matthew Lillard and Neve Campbell carried the first movie. Well, Neve Campbell pretty much acting is phenomenal all movies, but this movie is totally different. All the characters I liked, for the most part. I think the younger girl, the younger sister, Jenna, she's a little over the top for as young as she is, but then again, kids nowadays can say whatever the heck they want, so I guess that ties in. I like the fact they used new technology, or they used I guess it's not new technology. They use technology we use now, as far as the opening scene that you've all seen in previews. When they use texting, they use automatic door locks, stuff like that. So
yeah, the trailer pretty much gives away the opening of the movie.
Yeah,
for the most part.
For the most part, yeah. So that was cool. There are some surprises along the way, which is kind of nice. You kind of were hoping that something major would happen, and it does. Maybe not to the person you want. So all around, it was a good slasher movie. We'll see how it fares in the rankings for an actual continuance of a Scream movie. There's a difference. So what about dislikes?
For dislikes, this is where same kills, simple stab, stab, stab. I mean, Ghostface can be a little more creative with his kills, but I guess that wouldn't make it a Scream movie. So, and same old Scream movie. Simple guy in a costume stabbing teenagers, and once in a while kill some adults or something. I mean, and then also the killer's motive, which we'll get into this when we get into spoilers. But to me, the killer's motive is, if this was how it was going to be, we could
spoil it yet.
Yeah, we could do this in real life to get why they did this, and I just thought that it was just straight up stupid.
Yeah, if you watched any of the Scream movies, the only good reasoning was the second one where Billy's mother comes back for revenge. The other ones were pretty much, hey, I want to be a star now, I'm jealous type, which I guess would fit in today's society. But it's just kind of dumb.
Oh, and then like even the killer reveal, like one of them, I kind of had this person picked out like 15 minutes into the movie who the killer was going to be, and I was spot on. And another thing is they did two killers again. I mean, can we switch it up? Maybe have like a cult of killers or something? A cult of Ghostface.
Well,
that'd be kind of interesting. A cult of Ghostfaces.
I think there is one because every Ghostface has been different. So, yeah. So I went in this expected to be just, I don't know, another random thing, hoping that it would be something different. Actual surprise, it actually is a pretty decent movie overall, as just a slasher movie itself. But now to the spoilers. So we're going to do some spoilers now. So if you have not seen the movie, do not take it off the internet. Do not buy it. Go to your local theater and support them. Get some popcorn, get some drinks, buy a ticket, enjoy the theater life before it's gone. Now to the spoilers. Alright, so, as we mentioned, someone dies. An OG character dies. Unfortunately, it's not the OG character you wanted.
No, I definitely wanted Sydney to die, but maybe if we get a Scream 7 or 8, maybe they'll finally kill her off and make it impactful.
As in the movie, she never dies.
Yeah, she never dies, and they kind of even hint at that in the movie that you still live. And
I wanted Courtney Cox to die just because her character to me is kind of blah. I was anti-Dewey.
Yes.
From the get-go, and Dewey, I kind of liked Dewey's character in the second one, and Dewey's character grew on me quite a bit. And so I wanted Courtney Cox to die, and you wanted Sydney to die. Unfortunately,
we didn't get that.
We unfortunately lost the life of Dewey.
And you were actually happy about that.
The only reason I clapped loud in the theater, not because of the applause of the movie being good. No, I applaud because I actually killed someone off that was important to the whole franchise. 5 movies and they finally kill somebody off. So, because if he would have been stabbed and survived again...
I think they said he was stabbed like 10 times already. Yeah, he even said that in the movie. He got stabbed like 9 times before
he got slaughtered in the second one. He got slaughtered in this third. He survived, which is kind of dumb considering that some people get stabbed one time and die, but certain characters can get mutilated and still survive, which is, I mean, you get stabbed in the same spot, you're going to tear up everything in that area. You're probably not going to survive, but you get stabbed once in the shoulder and you just die instantly. It's kind of dumb. But anyway, we lost Dewey, Officer Dewey. Well, actually, he's not an officer anymore. He has been forced to retire. So in honor of Dewey, Deputy Riley. We're going to take a moment of silence. Okay, that's over. It's a moment. Anyway, yeah, so Sydney survives, Courtney Cox survives, and I don't know. I mean, had some better kills.
Yeah, definitely more brutal kills. This Ghostface was brutal. Like, he really put it all into stabbing people. Unfortunately, that's all it is just stabbing people.
Well, I mean, the last few movies had one or two good kills, so it wasn't nothing new, but they did at least keep up with some decent kills in there. The bad guy, or Ghostface in the movie, who you thought it was?
Yes.
It was the friend.
The boyfriend of the main character.
The boyfriend of the main character, and then a random friend of the cast, because you have Randy's relatives there, and they're in, is it Randy's house?
No.
Or
they were at Stu's house.
Stu's house.
Because the other Ghostface killer lives in Stu Macher's house from the first Scream movie.
Yeah, she's obsessed with Stu. My biggest thing is that every time you see Ghostface, he looks to be about 5'10", 6 foot, because he's definitely taller than everybody he's went after.
Yeah, so when, it's revealed that Jack Quaid and this other character is the killers, it's believable that Jack Quaid is the Ghostface because he's kind of tall and lengthy.
Is it Mickey Madison? I believe it's Mickey Madison.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know, she's short and maybe 90 pounds.
Yeah.
She's tiny. I don't know her weight exactly, but she's small.
And she's the one that kills Dewey.
Yeah, so if this little girl could take on Dewey, but yet in costume she's got to be wearing platforms, because there's no way you could be taller than Dewey if you're. I mean, I'm only 5'6.5" maybe, and she's probably shorter than me, and that's not close to 6 foot or taller than Dewey or taller than Courtney Cox or anybody else. So I don't get how Ghostface is as tall as Jack Quaid, and he's taller than me. So it's kind of a dumb setup how they do that. They need to stop that. I don't know. The opening scene that you see in the trailer, where the young girl, Jenna, I forget the character's name, but in the opening scene where she gets attacked, she fights off Ghostface, and I'm thinking, great. Ghostface is getting his butt kicked again by a young girl that weighs probably less than 100 pounds. Okay, it's not believable. But then you find out that, okay, the other character is her size, that's why they can fight out. But then to find out that that young girl also killed Dewey and some others, it just doesn't make sense. They need to check that a little bit, because it's not believable. Now, the young girl that is a Ghostface is kind of badass. She's tough. She would take a few hits, but it's just not believable. I mean,
and then their motives for going on a killing spree is because, in the Scream movies, they have that fictional movie, Stab. After the fifth Stab movie, I guess they became crap, and toxic fandom led these two characters to go on a killing spree so it would motivate them to make better Stab movies. I'm like, really? So next time I want a good Friday the 13th movie, I have to go out and start killing people to get a good movie? I mean, that is so stupid.
Yeah, it's not a good plot, but they really had nothing. They had good characters. They had Randy's relatives. They had Bill Loomis's daughter. They had good people that could do the job, but yeah. So Bill Loomis's daughter, she does take medication because she sees her dead dad. I think they wanted you to focus that she was the killer. Yeah, I just never thought that she would be the killer. I never once thought that she was the killer for some reason. They try to portray that with the drugs that she took, seeing her dad, she might go psycho.
Oh, well, then she kind of does go psycho, because when she finally finishes off her boyfriend, Jack Quaid, she's like, well, I have serial killer blood in me. Stab, stab, and going to town on him.
It's like, shit.
Yeah, going ape shit on him. And really, you use it for your dead dad's psycho blood. Okay.
Yeah, they had some cool scenes. The only thing I didn't like was the young girl, Mickey. She gets slaughtered. She gets stabbed through the hand by a giant buck 120 knife. The blade is this big. It goes through her hand. I mean, you're talking about tendons, nerves. He stomps on her ankle. He breaks her ankle. He stabs her. She's in the hospital and can carry on a normal conversation with all of her friends and her sister.
Well, and before that, she even says they gave her good drugs. that she was all drugged up.
Actually, that was the second scene, second time she was in the hospital. But the first time she did, she was, you could tell obviously going to be drugged up. I'm sorry, but who's going to take that much pain? She's carrying normal conversation. You're going to be a little loopy, so that was kind of dumb. But the killing scenes at the end were pretty good. You reveal that Jack Quaid is the killer. The boyfriend, he wants to piss everybody off so they make a better movie. And then you find out that the young, tiny girl is the other killer, and that they're in love, which would mean...
Oh, and they met each other in a Reddit post.
Yeah, and they actually kissed,
Mm-hmm.
like they're dating, which makes me believe that Jack Quaid's character is going to go to jail for at least 20, since she was probably 16. I don't know, she was young. That's the first thing I whispered to him, like, yeah, he's going to prison. Statutory. But it was weird that his character is older and then they appeared to be, like, in love. But he turns on his girlfriend, Melissa. Yeah, and stabs her. Sydney gets stabbed. Sydney gets shot.
No, Courtney gets shot.
Yeah, Courtney gets shot again on the same side that she got hurt before. Sydney gets stabbed. There's all out. The ending was kind of cool because you find out who the character is. When you find out who the actual Ghostface are, the guy doesn't surprise you. He's big enough to actually do some killing. The girl, on the other hand, not so much. That took it down a notch. The whole time I'm waiting for Melissa's character, Billy Loomis's daughter, to go, I'm the third killer, off her boyfriend and start coming after Sydney or something. I was hoping they would turn it, but they didn't. That would have made the movie that much better. Maybe another blood drop on her scale, but I don't know. And then again, of course, Sydney and Courtney have to battle it out with a girl that weighs, I don't know, half of what they weigh. I don't know, she was tiny. Sydney, Courtney, Cox, they beat
you like threw her
Gail
around.
Weathers, yeah, they really, they battle it out.
Yeah, they like throw her around like a rag doll.
Yeah, so how do they kill the final Ghostface girl?
Well, of course, they do their typical, let's shoot the Ghostface. And she actually, while they're fighting, she falls on the stove and turns one of the burners on. And so they shoot her like 2 or 3 times and she falls onto the burner and she catches on fire and she's like engulfed in flames. And she falls
from head to toe, back and front. I mean, she's engulfed.
Yep, she falls on the ground, so we assume she's dead, but we know better. She's going to come up for that one last jump scare. And then when she does, then they do the simple shoot her in the head trick. It's like, really? Is that the only way you can take a Ghostface down?
Yeah, because say that for the zombie movies. Yeah, when she does the scare thing, she has half her face is burnt. She wasn't as burnt as she was. I mean, she was lit on fire completely. They should have just left her dead. It wouldn't have been a scare factor at all. They should have let the 2 Ghostface die and then had Bill Loomis's daughter be the other Ghostface and then take out Sydney or Gail Weathers permanently. That would have been awesome if we could have lost maybe both. Not that, he just killed our camera. See what he's doing? Getting all excited about Sydney. Anyway, yeah. They could have done it better. But all in all, still a good slasher movie. But how would you say it ranks on your scale of... Okay, let's just go slasher movie first. What would you rank it as a slasher movie?
So as a slasher movie, which I am a big fan of slasher movies, I would give it 3 blood drops out of 5 because the kills were a lot more brutal, even though they were just the simple stabs. And, yeah, that'd be what I would give it, 3 out of 5 as a slasher movie.
As a slasher movie, I give it 3 out of 5 blood drops too. How about a Scream movie?
For me, for being a Scream movie, I would give it 2 out of 5 blood drops because, as we've said before, it's just the same old, and I don't really care to watch this again. So yeah, I give it 2 blood drops out of 5.
As a Scream movie, I would give it 2 blood drops out of 5. I would have watched it again, but it was pretty much just the same thing with just a new cast. I think they missed their shot of really making the ending so good that they could have had a true killer, who that killer could possibly be good enough to go on in the future as the actual killer. So we don't know. There's supposed to be another one, possibly. So we shall see. So that is our rating. That is our review. Go out and see the movie. It is worth seeing, I believe. And tell us what you think in the comments below. So like, subscribe. Until next time.
Stay bloody.